أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين ربي اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي واجعل لي وزيرا من أهلي هارون أخي أشدد به أزري وأشركه في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك إني كنت من الظالمين وصل اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Assalamu alaikum, everyone. MashaAllah. Need some more energy to talk. Okay.
He's fasting.
Fasting of Maryam.
Yeah.
MashaAllah. Okay, so we'll continue inshallah with the fruits of belief, this 11th Ray 7th topic. And as we were discussing last time about the beautiful definition of what a human being is, MashaAllah, very humbling definition. And if I can, maybe we can take it and practice this kind of definition of how we are given all these qualities, these tools, and use them in his name, the one who has given these to us. Man being the most, although being the dependent being, the most poor and impotent, but the richest in regard to abilities and potentialities. Very interesting that although very poorest in terms of his needs, but in terms of the things he's been given, the richest, not financially, but richest in the human potentialities and the things that we had, the consciousness, the ability to reason, ability to think, physical abilities, spiritual in terms of connecting and making sense of things.
Yeah.
So rich in that sense.
And giving the permission to use the universe, everything, whatever he can.
Yeah.
As much as he can.
Freely as we can. Yeah.
You can
the whole universe.
You can cut a tree, or whatever you want.
The whole universe is for me. Everybody can say that.
Yeah. As it says, he is commander, or the officer with command.
Officer, yeah.
It means with authority to use, to utilize. But we will read something interesting.
It will, because that's why I'm trying to bring that. Because
sometimes you mess up.
Because with all that richness comes responsibility. Being a commander, like let's say an employee with all that potentiality is hired in a company, but then doesn't use that potentiality. And what good is hiring that person, individual, for? As an analogy, but this is our existential creation here. We're given all those tools and abilities. So let's continue. I mean, this is along the lines of the preserver, the name of the preserver, the name of truth, the first, the last, the evident. Yes.
First of all, we need to understand that, first of all, name of truth. How did he get this? Name of preserver. How did he get this? In the existence, there are signs.
Name of truth. Yeah.
Yeah. The one who creates the universe preserves. What it preserves? Before the things disappear, or he doesn't create anymore, but leaves the signs behind that he's still not forgotten, that he still can create again. But in the plant and animal life is obvious, but also in the universe, macro universe, also those people who are specialized say some stars are dying, some galaxies are dying, but new galaxies are coming into existence. It's interesting.
New galaxies, yes.
Yeah, it is never So we understand that everything is created in a perfect way for the purpose. We have to understand it's a Quranic expression. خَلَقَ فَسَوَّى. What does it mean? Created and put it in the, get it really smooth for that created being to act perfectly within the, in harmony with the rest of the universe.
So perfect
Every
adjustment.
animal, yeah, every animal is given different kinds of life, but every animal is happy with its existence. You cannot really try to correct by cutting the leg of, for example, some certain animals. The birds have the long leg. They really feed on fish in the sea or to lakes and maybe rivers. They sit there, the long leg
You're
in
right.
the sea, so the fish don't see the bird, but it's a long beak. So suddenly when the fish come, so you can say, oh, it's too long, let me cut it. Then it cannot really get its food. Whatever is needed, whatever the animals and plants need, they are given the quality to satisfy their need perfectly. That is adjusted. So we understand that justice is there, truth is there. Of course, truth has more meaning, deeper meaning. It means everything reveals the reality to human mind, human understanding. What is that? Perfectly manifests the qualities of its creator, which are all reality, not only confusion. For example, if you go to a jumble, like a junkyard, there are hundreds of total cars. None of them works. There is no truth there.
Okay.
Yeah. But if you go to a car dealer, especially the car dealer who sells the new cars, everything is perfectly adjusted. So not the junkyard witnesses the truth of the producer of the cars there. Do you understand? No. When you go to the junkyard, you investigate the cars there, mostly broken cars, don't work. No good. They don't witness the reality of their manufacturers. They don't demonstrate it. So you cannot see the truth manifested there. In order to be able to see the truth, which really manifests, demonstrates, shows the perfection of the manufacturer of the cars, demonstrate,
Reveals.
exhibited in the car dealers' place, they represent the real quality of their manufacturers. The universe is not like a junkyard. The universe is like the car dealers, which sells perfectly ready, functioning cars. Every kind of car is a witness to the perfection of their manufacturers. That's what we have to understand. That is why every creature witnesses that my creator made me perfect. Yeah. And let's say a pigeon witnesses my creator made me perfect. Although they are completely different.
Right.
Now, human beings makes the most brilliant sign. My creator is the perfect.
Wow.
So nothing in the universe shows that its creator is not perfect. That is what we see, the truth manifested in the universe, everywhere. Even you go, for example, dissect human body, you study the heart, heart says, my creator made me perfect. You study kidneys, kidney says, my creator made me perfect. He's a perfect manufacturer. You human eye, human cells say, my creator made me perfect. Even the smaller parts of every creature demonstrates my creator is the perfect. That's why the perfect one in his qualities, all qualities, my creator are perfect. That is, Quran keeps saying that we created the universe with truth, al-haq. Yeah, that is what we have to understand. The universe demonstrates the creator of every single thing in the world, demonstrates that their creator is al-haq. And we can learn from this haq the reality of the creator, which called haq, Allahu Haqqun. So in the Urdu language, Janab Haq. Yeah, that's why we have to say, when we say Allah is Janab Haq, what do we mean? How did you know? After realizing this, then we have to say, if the creator is al-haq, truth, then the result of the creation must be also al-haq. What is this conclusion of the creation? We are studying resurrection. Resurrection is also haq. Why? Making everything at every level of existence perfect. But at the end, everything is transient. If we think that the creator created this universe perfectly, but with no purpose, at the end, everything is disappearing from existence. The result is perfect. For example, everything, I thought of an example, it's not a good example. It doesn't really represent the truth, so I gave up. If my life is perfect, at every stage, when I was a baby, I was perfect. When I was young, I was perfect. And I'm an old man, I'm a perfect old man. Perfect old man. Even my illnesses are perfectly created. Perfectly created. When you study, you see the order in its creation. You can find out the healing for it. Because it is in order, perfect order. The diseases are created within perfect order. They are not accidents. They are not lack of the perfection of their creators. For example, my body gets ill. It doesn't mean that the one who created my body didn't make me perfect. That's why I'm getting ill. On the contrary, my illness is also given to me purposefully on a truth. It means perfect creation. I give this example. If you study this cell, cancer cell, no one wants it. Hafizan Allah, all of us, inshallah. But study the creation of the cancer cell. It's functioning perfect, within a perfect order. So there is no sign that the creator is lacking perfection. But if I presume death is a meaningless end, no resurrection, it contradicts the name of perfect or truth. Why this truth is going to make everything meaningless, purposeless? It contradicts the reality, the truth, perfection. You get this is clear. So we have to understand perfection, preserver again. all the names we are going to study or read, inshallah, we have to establish first that these names, the text says, truth, preserver, all wise, all beauteous, all compassionate. All these names, we have to first understand that this is what we witness here. And then go and study or think about that. Study must think about resurrection. Why resurrection is definitely necessary. Because what we see in this world, all these qualities of the Creator, and the one who created this quality, this universe, if the one who created this universe has these qualities, not to think of the resurrection as reality contradicts what we witness in this world about the Creator. It means it contradicts the perfection of the Creator. That's what we have to understand, that why the author here, and this is a detailed study of the 10th word about resurrection, is a general introduction, mostly establishes his argument on the truthfulness of the names of God, the Creator, and gives evidence for it. This is a very unique way of, to me, very unique way of understanding resurrection. And I've never seen anyone approaches the subject in this matter. Everyone says, Quran says, so we believe. That's very interesting, I mean, unique to this author. Okay. Okay.
So yeah, so all those universal truths is bound to Almighty God's name of truth. That was one phrase in the paragraph we kind of read.
Okay.
That was good on the name of truth, how we can understand that. So everything we see is based on the name of truth because it's perfectly adjusted. It reveals all the qualities. So the creation of death is also reflect a sign of it's a perfect creation.
Yeah, the Creator is the perfect.
Creator is the perfect, but its manifestation shows the signs of perfection. And then I can point to the Creator as being they all point to the Creator being the truth and perfect. All right, so we'll start with this paragraph. As required by the above 20 truths, most certainly and without any doubt, there will be a resurrection and judgment for man. There will be a resurrection and judgment for man. And in accordance with the name of truth, man will receive reward for his above duties and punishment for his faults. And in accordance with the name of preserver, he will be questioned and called to account for his actions. According to the name of preserver, he will be questioned, man will be questioned and called to account for his actions, all of which have been recorded, and the doors will be opened of the feasting halls of everlasting bliss in the eternal realm. And the doors will be opened of the feasting halls of everlasting bliss in the eternal realm. And of the prison of eternal misery, hell.
This is for the ones who deny.
Yeah. So paradise and hell. Yeah.
But it is interesting to describe hell as prison of eternal misery. Why deprivation? Deprived of what? Whatever we denied, deprived of. For example, mother prepares everything what you need. And you say, you did nothing to me. The first time, mother is patient. Second time, she is patient again. And you did nothing to me. You did nothing to me. It is not you who prepared it. It happened to be by itself. That's what they say, yeah? Those people who deny the truth. So, mother, after 1 year, what will you do? Will you still give anybody? You say, okay, then. If you deny, if I'm not a bad, if I'm not a good mother, if you say that you just got the food accidentally here to be ready on your table, your room is prepared and tidied accidentally because the winds, let put them in clean and perfect order. Okay, then go and ask wind, go and accident to prepare your dinner and the wind. I'm not going to do it. That is hell. I'm not going to do it. You deny it. Although I kept giving you. Did it all your life. You experienced it. But there are some exceptional cases. A young child died without really realizing what is going on. He will be not just go there because he wasn't given the quality to understand the perfection of the Creator. So that's what the Quran and actually clearly Hadith narrations confirms that if someone dies, a child dies, is given death before the age of maturity, he will be directly taken to paradise because he wasn't given the qualities. So, but if one of us think that I have to die and finish, no, it is too late. You should have done it when you were a child.
Before maturity.
Yeah, but if you deliberately do it, it means you are rejecting the God's will. And you are saying, I'm going to kill myself. So if Allah creates it, the Creator says, okay, I'm not going to give you any more life. And then he says, okay, I put you in paradise because I didn't give you the responsibility. That is justice as well.
So it's interesting. He didn't say use justice here, but truth in this explanation.
Yeah. But justice will
come.
Yeah. As a result of preserver. Why he's preserving? He said here, he will call
to account for his actions.
To account for his actions.
Yeah.
And then all we say we recorded. This is practice of justice.
So the preservation is for a purpose.
Yeah.
All the things by the noble scribes.
So prison is the place of deprivation, isn't it? We are the people are deprived of their freedom and what they want to do, and they cannot do it.
In accordance with the name of preserver, man will be questioned and called to account for his actions, all of which have been recorded. And based on that, the doors will be opened of the feasting halls of everlasting bliss in the eternal realm, or the prison of eternal misery. Man who has been an officer with command over numerous species of beings in this world. Man who has been an officer with command over numerous species of beings in this world, and has intervened in them and sometimes thrown them into confusion.
That is interesting that we have to be careful.
Sometimes thrown them people into confusion. So man,
the things destroy them.
Oh,
this environmental disasters, ecological imbalance, causing lots of problems in the oceans. So you cannot imagine. You cannot imagine that the human caprices will destroy the life, perfect, balanced life in oceans, not in a small pot. Is it pot? Pond. Ocean. Now, if you go and buy a fish from the southern part of these oceans, Atlantic and what's the other one? Specific oceans, they say don't eat more than 1 or 2 times fish a day because they have nuclear waste. It causes cancer. It is to quote, as the Quran says, you know that Quran says this corruption will take place. في الأرض بما كسبت أيدي الناس. Because of the hands of human beings will cause corruption on earth and in the oceans. It is miracles news. At that time, I don't think the people in Mecca and Medina know that an ocean existed. Only the biggest sea they see was the
Arabian Sea.
Red Sea.
Oh, Red Sea.
It is just a large river-like place. Compared to ocean is nothing. And the Quran says in the Bihar and earth, corruption, deficit no. ظهر الفساد في الأرض في البحار في الأرض والبحار.
Lands in the seas.
بما كسبت أيدي الناس ظهر. Suhail, come on, find out. ظهر الفساد في الأرض. But I couldn't really. بما كسبت أيدي الناس. So, how can one imagine? Can you read?
Sure.
ظهر الفساد في البر والبحر.
ظهر الفساد البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس.
It didn't really sound right. So في البر والبحر بما كسبت أيدي الناس, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. ليذيقهم بعض الذي عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. Yeah, لعلهم يرجعون. Because now everybody is suffering from this ecological imbalance, or how do you say, environmental problems. Yeah. Now, so they are. We are all tasting the negative results of what we have done, and بعض الذين عملوا لعلهم يرجعون. So that they are now, what are they doing? They are fighting against global warming themselves. They established ministers of environmental department. Why? To correct what the others did, exactly what the Quran says. But some of them are going to try to correct it so that these corruptors should stop corrupting the fighting. The fight will take place between people, not necessarily believers. Anyone, any human being. Yeah. It's very interesting.
Yeah.
That's the word which says is
confusing.
Sometimes thrown into confusion. The translation thrown them into confusion. Them means the world, the things of the world.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it intervened. So
yeah, but
the species and sometimes thrown them into.
Yes, the things in the world will be thrown into confusion because of human interference.
Basically corrupted.
Yeah, because this extinction of some animals, some plants.
Right.
For example,
Oh.
why? Because human interference, ecological balance is disturbed by human caprices. Now, what they do, preservations, that they have preservation centers not to correct it, as the Quran says, the verse says. Some people will try to stop it, and they will return back. It may stop corrupting. Exactly. It is miracle of the Quran, obvious. So, no one can guess that oceans will be disturbed, this will be corrupted by human hand. Come on, you can dirty some water, maybe in a small container, not the ocean.
Yeah.
It is unimaginable. It is impossible for a person to imagine it.
It's a misuse of the human potentiality, responsibility.
Yeah, but what I'm emphasizing on, the Quran is the word of the one who created the universe from the beginning to the end. He knows it. A man, you and me, cannot know it. It is impossible to guess that. Human hand, as the Quran says, aid, because what the hand of man did, hand of man is mentioned clearly. So a human being said, the hand of man will corrupt ocean? Impossible.
Wow.
Yeah, impossible to imagine. It is possible. So we can understand that this sentence, the verse, this ayah, cannot be said by a man. Impossible. It is billions of times beyond human capacity to imagine that. And say this, and after centuries after, it becomes true. That is why the miraculous side of the Quran is like this. There are lots of things, of course, but this is one of them, one of the miraculous aspects of the Quran.
As in everything is known.
Sorry?
As in everything is known by the creator of the universe.
Yeah, only the creator knows it. No one else can. A human being, impossible. If a human being cannot know it, do you think the donkeys will know it? Okay. Bismillah.
Yeah. Thank you, Sohail, for sharing the verse and saying only in the last 100 years this corruption kind of promulgated.
So do you think this man who has the authority over everything and does some good, but at the same time can do corruption worldwide, do you think now this man will not enter quantum?
Sometimes thrown into confusion or corruption will not enter the soil, never to be questioned concerning his actions.
Yeah, that is human desire. For example, if I see somebody hear that somebody was killed in my neighborhood, I definitely want to ask, what? The killer must be found and
Punished.
Everyone, his human feeling says this. What does it mean? The Creator gave this sense to me and letting me know what he's going to do. That's which kind of creator he is. He will definitely punish those people not, for example, this person may not be found in this world. And where is justice?
Yeah.
Where is truth? Yeah?
Yep.
That's it. I'm preserving it. Don't worry. I'm recording everything. Everything is the video recording. So digital recording, one small 1 millimeter is enough to record the whole life of a movie. And that is what is demonstrated in this world. We see now because of this digital world. This is the one who which is created by the creator of Allah, giving this ability to this matter. It means I have this quality. Preserve.
So from the matter, I can say I have these qualities. Okay.
No, because he is the one who created
Yeah.
this matter, this whatever this substance is, and chips are made of, this quality, it means, and the order allows it,
It's
it
in the
means
universe.
I have this quality, manifested it. And by creating it, I am introducing myself to you. You know, we see the quality of the artist in the art. We don't have to see the artist. No, we look at the art and see the qualities of it. This is why very important. There is no need to see the artist. Even if you see the artist, we don't know which qualities he has.
Yeah.
Unless he does it, he does the work. Yeah,
Sure.
it means the universe. If someone says, we don't see God. No, you see the universe, that's enough. His art.
You see the work.
Yeah. So even if you see God, it wouldn't benefit you anything. You wouldn't know which qualities he has. Because the qualities are not in the form of matter. Right? Everything seems to be so obvious. Why people make all these hesitations they have about accepting the Creator because of the misrepresentation of Muslims, of the believers, because we present God by accepting the existence of God and then talking about it. They say, you just prejudiced. You are just prejudiced people. You said God, you said you believe in God and everything attributed to him afterwards. But the Quran doesn't do that. Quran introduces the work and therefore asks us to conclude about the one who realized this or executed this work. And you understand the Creator from his act, not from himself. So we don't use, the believers don't use this language. We keep saying Allah is all powerful, God is all knowing. And all this shuyukh and the books are written in this way.
From God's perspective.
Yeah, talking on pre-accepted notion.
Yeah.
We have to change the language. And we have to get used to using this kind of language. So I never say God is all powerful. I see the world, the one, whoever it is, must have absolute power. That is Iman. God is all powerful is knowledge. It's not Iman. Learned from Muslim literature, and or Christian also say, Jews also say God, Almighty God. It means nothing. Well, it's very important actually. Language is very important. That's why this mispresentation or misrepresentation of the teachings of the Quran made people atheists, deniers. It means I don't blame the people, I blame myself. I didn't present it in the right way so that it makes sense. I presented Islam in a way it doesn't make sense for an ordinary man, for an ordinary person. When I speak, also it doesn't make sense to me. I'm just repeating knowledge, thinking that it is belief. It is Iman. It's not Iman, it is knowledge, ilm. What Muslims believe, what Christians believe, it's knowledge. It's not Iman. Iman is confirmation based on evidence. Unfortunately, it's not in the culture. We have to be careful.
La ilaha illallah. First, la ilaha, then illallah.
Going from the creation to the creator. From the art, acknowledging the artist, not accepting the artist and then attributing the art to him. That is totally illogical and also against the principles of teachings of Quran. Unfortunately. Simple point, but missing. Very simple point, very easy to understand, but missing. Amazing. We are amazing. It sounds so great.
So never to be questioned concerning his actions, nor laid down in concealment, not to be roused.
Where are you reading? Yes.
Yeah, I think we spoke about this. Right?
Yeah.
So for to hear the buzz of the fly and to answer it actively.
It means he creates the fly in a way that he is aware of its needs. He created with the needs and provides all what it needs. Answers to its needs so that he introduces himself. Look, oh man, I created you with the need for eternal happiness and I will respond it. I will satisfy it as I am doing here.
Right.
Introduces himself to conscious human mind.
So to hear the buzz of the fly and to answer it actively by giving it its rights of life.
Yeah, rights of life. It means whatever you need, it is there.
And not to hear the prayers of eternity made through the tongues of the above 20 truths of innumerable human rights.
Human rights. Look at this human. What is human rights? When we talk about human rights, we say freedom, we say economic guarantee or security of life, and shelter, food. We never say that human right is resurrection. Yeah. Have you ever heard?
Not in this civilization.
No. Now even I can show you brochures
of human
rights books telling about according to Islam human rights. They don't mention.
Wow.
Do they? No, I've never seen that. We have many brochures types of human rights. Islam
liberates women.
Liberation, equality, but never say human rights. The most essential human right is
resurrection.
Resurrection.
Prayers for eternity.
Yep.
All the desire, the need for human eternity. Through the tongues of all the truths.
But human rights means in both senses. Human rights means in both senses. If I do something, it is my right to get the reward. If I do something wrong, it is my right to get
punishment.
That's human rights, man. Hell is human right. Paradise is human right.
That's interesting.
All umbrella languages, resurrection is human rights.
If you do something wrong, then your human right is to go to hell.
That's what you deserve. That's your right.
That's the right. That becomes the right. If you do right, then paradise. That's the human right. Eternal life.
That's logical.
So eternity in both sense.
Because what we say, look, it is my right to see the person punished who killed an innocent man. That's everybody, not necessarily believers say this. Even the most atheist civil court says the guilty must be punished. That's human right. I hate to see the people who are doing something wrong must be punished so that I will feel secure. It is my right. If people go and kill, steal, destroy that, steal your car, get them to break into your house and take your property, and they are not punished, will you feel comfortable?
No.
No. Will you feel secure? No. That is your right to feel secure by this person not be punished. So if those people who mischief people, mislead people, saying that everything is accidental and happening by itself, is it not my right to see this person imprisoned after resurrection? Yeah, you were cheating people. And I want to see him really punished. But here, I want to see him listening to the truth or correcting himself, making repenting. Istighfar. But after he dies, it means his account is closed. Then I say, okay, he didn't benefit, he didn't utilize all the good prepared, as Quran says, نمتعهم قليلا ثم نضطرهم في عذاب غليظ. We give them all this freely, whatever he needs, freely, provide everything freely for a short time. Lifespan is very short, very short. But then if they don't really utilize it and they don't really thank it for it, they are grateful for it, and then we will give them a good punishment, adab, because what they deserve. So I will say, yes, they should. Yes, they should be punished after they die. But before they die, I shouldn't say they should be punished. I will say they should be guided.
Oh.
That is the difference. So merciful here, but after resurrection, justice.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So we shouldn't get angry for those people. We should feel pity for them.
Pray for guidance.
And try to help them. Try to help them. And try to help them by giving the right answer to their claims and demonstrating them that what they claim doesn't make sense. That is what we are not doing. We are fighting with them before they die. That's interesting. That is an interesting point, actually, we all have to take notice of. Inshallah.
Inshallah.
That's why the prophets are doing. Until they die or they take the sword and try to kill the prophets, they work for their favor to understand the reality. They struggle for it. So they don't say that, okay, go to hell, man. No, look at the prophetic life. What do they say? As if they beg them. Why don't you listen? Why don't you think? What you are doing is wrong. Here it is. That is why you are doing is wrong. All the explanations are given to them. But after they die, okay, I cannot do anything anymore. They are dead.
Mm-hmm.
Their record is closed. Okay. They deserve the hell now.
So what is right?
Yes.
Human.
While they are living, we don't say they deserve hell. After they die, they deserve hell. While they are living, it is our duty to present them understandable, reasonable answers. Reasonable answers without getting angry. Like the compassionate prophets. All the prophets are really very compassionate to their people. Okay.
Even to the enemies.
Yeah.
So which reverberate through the heavens. So the human rights which reverberate through the heavens and earth like thunder. And to transgress all those rights. And for a wisdom which as is testified, wisdom which as is testified by the order of the fly's wing, waste not even such a wing. Wisdom which is as is testified by the order of the fly's wing. So a little fly's wing.
It's a witness.
As a witness, as an evidence. Yeah.
As a witness.
Yeah. So like a little small evidence for us to take lesson from. Not even such a wing is not wasted. To waste utterly man's abilities.
Yeah, it means compared to this, the men's abilities are going to be wasted.
Those rich abilities.
Yeah. Yeah.
Utterly man's amazing abilities, which are bound by those truths.
Yeah.
And his hopes and desires, which reach out to eternity. Yeah, hopes and desires which reach out to eternity. This is important also, to reach out to eternity, not just limited to the temporary world of the my hope and desires to this world only, but to eternity and the many bonds and truths of the universe. Bonds and truths of the universe which nourish these abilities and desires. Many bonds and truths of the universe which nourish those abilities and desires. Would be such an injustice and so impossible, and such a tyrannical ugliness, that all beings which testify to the names of truth, preserver, all wise, all beauteous, and all compassionate, reject it, declaring it to be utterly impossible and precluded. Thus, in reply to our question to our Creator about resurrection, the names of truth, preserver, all wise, all beauteous, and all compassionate say, just as we are truth and reality, just as we are truth and reality, and the beings that testify to us are true, so the resurrection of the dead is true and certain.
Yeah. Because we see that the truth of these names, the qualities of the Creator, testify.
They're all manifested
They
for me to
they all
witness.
testify to us that the resurrection and the resurrection of the dead is certain.
Certain. Alhamdulillah. So looking at ourselves, we are truth and reality, and the beings that testify to us as the truth and reality. So the resurrection of the dead is the truth and certain.
Yep.
And since I was going to write more, but since the above is as clear as the sun, I have curtailed the discussion.
Everything is clear now. There is no need to speak more.
Well, we have to think about this a little bit, inshallah.
Okay.
Thus, making an analogy with the matters in the above examples and since this is that, through their manifestations and reflections in beings, through their manifestations and reflections in beings, Almighty God's 100, indeed 1,000 names, which look to the universe, prove self-evidently the one they signify. So prove self-evidently the one they signify. So too do they demonstrate the resurrection of the dead, and hereby and prove and hereafter, and prove them definitively. So too do they demonstrate the resurrection of the dead, and hereafter and prove them definitively. Also, just as through all his decrees and the scriptures, he has revealed and most of his names by which he is described, our sustainer gives us sacred and decisive answers to the question we asked our creator. So he causes it to be answered through his angels, and in another fashion through their tongue. So through the tongue of the angels. There have been hundreds of incidents unanimously attested to since the time of Adam, of your meeting both with spirit beings and with us. And there are innumerable signs and evidences of our existence and worship and that of the spirit beings. So this is the angels talking, right? There have been hundreds of incidents unanimously attested to since the time of Adam of your meeting both with spirit beings and with us. And there are innumerable signs
With us, with angels.
with angels. And there are innumerable signs and evidences of our existence and worship, and that of the spirit beings. In agreement with each other, we have told your leaders, when we have met with them, that we travel through the halls of the hereafter and in some of its apartments. And we always say this. We have no doubt that the fine eternal halls that we have wandered through and the well-appointed decorated palaces and dwellings beyond them await important guests. In order to accommodate them, we give you certain news of this. They reply to our question thus. So innumerable signs and evidences of our existence and worship. So this is all in the universe. We have to see all these signs and evidences, the meaningful side of the universe.
The angelic side.
The angelic side of the universe. In agreement with each others. I mean, they are of course, all the meaningful side always points to their Lord, so there must be an agreement. We have told your leaders when we have met with them that we traveled through the halls of the hereafter and in some of its apartments.
Okay.
But this is like coming from a hadith or something, like this symbolic kind of explanation of, because I've heard this in some place where angels traveling between the heavens and the earth.
Of course, we have to think how we can understand it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
We cannot read the Quran literally.
yeah.
So, for example, this paragraph makes sense if you look at the angelic side of the universe.
Right.
So that we can see the angels are going up and down, demonstrating God's quality through spring, through winter, through, I don't know, storms, and beautiful sunlight,
Right.
sometimes very cloudy. These are all demonstrations of the angelic side of the universe. That's what we understand. That they are traveling between heavens and from first level of heaven to seven of heaven. These are literal presentations that we have to understand. What does it mean for me?
Mhm. Okay, I think we are at time, so we can stop here. Or should
Can we not finish this text?
yes.
Because we are now the resurrection subject is
Sure.
finishing now.
Yeah, that's all right. If everybody's available, yes, so we can continue. Also, since our Creator appointed Muhammad the Arabian, peace and blessings be upon him, as the greatest teacher, best master, and truest guide, who is neither confused nor confuses.
Hmm.
So he's not Majnun, neither confused nor confuses, sent him as his last envoy before anything, in order to progress and advance from the degree of knowledge, of certainty, in order to progress and advance from the degree of knowledge of certainty to those of vision of certainty and absolute certainty. We should ask this master the question we asked of our Creator. For just as that being, through his 1,000 miracles, which were a mark of our Creator's confirmation, and as a miracle of the Quran, proved that the Quran is true and God's word. Mark of our Creator's confirmation. So, for just as that being, through his 1,000 miracles, so which being is this? The Creator. We asked of our Creator, for just as that being, through his 1,000 miracles, which were a mark, no, so it's the master, prophet, that being is the teacher,
Teachers.
the prophet, for just as that being, through his 1,000 miracles, which were a mark of our Creator's. So all those miracles were a mark of our Creator's confirmation.
Creator's confirmation.
Right.
That's important. All the miracles are Creator's confirmation. His being the teacher to be followed or learned from.
Mm-hmm. And as a miracle of the Quran. So the miracles are also used as a miracle of the Quran. And as a miracle of the Quran, prove that the Quran is true and God's word. So through its 40 aspects of miraculousness, as a miracle of his, the Quran proves that he was true and God's messenger. So the Quran proves that he was true and God's messenger.
But these are the summary of a long discussion. That's why, this is just a conclusion why the author wants to show us that the reality of resurrection can be understood through observing the universe, but at the same time, it's not only this. Angelic side of the universe, the messengers are here. So you can look at the messenger, the message they bring to you, the miracles they demonstrate. These are the additional evidence
of resurrection, yes.
Yeah, that the resurrection is really going to take place. For example, the prophets tried their best to convey the message, which teaches us how to benefit from the universe, how to use the universe, and how to use ourselves.
Yeah.
And also they demonstrate that they believe and practice that there's a resurrection. So that's another extra evidence.
The reality of resurrection which they prove. One, the tongue of the manifest world.
Yeah, this is manifest world is what we see here.
Claimed it throughout his life. So this is what the teacher, the prophet has been claiming it throughout his life. Confirmed by all the prophets and saints. And the other, the tongue of the world of the unseen.
Yeah, the world of the unseen is Adam. This, again, the meaning of the universe points to the
Is that the
There-
angelic side?
There must be another existence level, which is the existence of the creator. So existence doesn't consist of only this universe.
Mhm. Claims it with thousands of its verses, confirmed by all the revealed scriptures and truths of the universe,
Truth of the universe confirms.
is as certain as the sun and daylight. Yes, a question like resurrection, which is the most strange and awesome matter and beyond the reason, could only be solved through the instruction of two such wondrous masters and understood.
What are they? One is masters, one of them is the tongue of the universe, manifest word. The other
Right.
one is the message that the prophets present to us.
Right. So the tongue of the world of the of the unseen is what, the angels or the angelic side?
The angelic side of the
The
universe.
meaningful side. So the silent speech that
Yeah.
goes
Speech of actually
the speech of God.
silent speech of God.
Yes.
That's correct. Yeah, that's what I understood.
The verbal speech, the Quran, and then the silent speech of the universe. The reason the early prophets did not explain resurrection in detail, like the Quran, was that at that time, mankind was still at a primitive stage of nomadism.
Not education, special education, special training. Not the mankind wasn't perfect.
Right.
No, they didn't receive education. They didn't train themselves. For example, if I don't train myself to learn, I don't know, whatever, biology, I know nothing of biology. Correct?
Mhm.
Not because my creation is less perfect than somebody else that maybe misunderstood in a primitive stage of uh, nomadism.
yeah.
He made it clear that nomadic life.
Mhm.
So nomadic life is not receiving education.
Right.
Okay. Not doesn't mean we have to be careful that the first man wasn't as perfect, but we are perfect.
Right.
No, the human beings must be the same.
Always perfect.
Yeah, always perfect. But if you don't utilize it, if you don't educate your qualities, then you become, ignorant. You remain ignorant. Yeah, primitive stage means this.
I see. Primitive stage.
Why is yes, a question like resurrection, which is the most strange and awesome matter and beyond the reason? It's beyond the reason. What do you understand from that?
Because they didn't understand. They didn't train their mind so that they will interpret the creation.
Mm.
So they took with everything taken for granted,
Face value.
and they don't know. For example, if you say that, look at the creation of the tree, they are not educated. They don't understand how to utilize it. By looking at the tree, it is growing by itself. Looks like. But when you study it, you understand that the elements of the tree cannot be the maker of the result of tree. Only you have to use your reason.
And since the angels inform us that they have seen the hereafter and the dwellings of the eternal realm, evidences testifying to the existence and worship of the angels, spirits, and spirit beings, evidences testifying to the existence and worship of the angels, spirits, and spirit beings are also indirect evidence for the existence of the hereafter.
any evidence we see from the angelic side of the universe,
It's meaningful. It makes
that they obey God. First of all, Quran says everything obeys God's order. Yeah. طوعاً أو كرها, willingly or unwillingly, they obey. We think that the obey means praying like me and fasting like me. No, they obey God, the Creator, as they exist. I obey the Creator as I exist with my qualities, and that they obey with their qualities, given qualities. They are not responsible more than what they are given. So that is their worship. So we have to understand that that's their tesbihat. Yeah, making tesbihat means glorifications, exaltations, declaring God's greatness in their existence. So this is also, they do their job. It is recorded. It means for what? For what it is recorded? They are going to be rewarded because they never rebel. So they are going to be rewarded. What does it mean? As the Quran says, يَوْمَ يُبَدَّلُ الْأَرْضُ غَيْرَ الْأَرْضِ. The elements will be transformed into another form where the resurrection will be made. They will be upgraded in their existence. That's what the Quran says. إِنَّ الدَّارَ الْآخِرَةَ لَهِيَ الْحَيَوَانِ. The stone will be like an animal here. Reward. Why? Because they perform their worship perfectly. So the way the universe is created witnesses that their also worshipful way of existing must need to be created, rewarded. That is the sign of another resurrection or another sign of resurrection. Why the universe is made in this way? Why the angelic side of the universe witnesses that also they are doing their mission, their duty perfectly? It is a sign for me that everything existent in the universe is a witness or evidence to the necessity of the existence of resurrection. That it will definitely take place. But these are summaries. If you go and read the 29th word, which are 20 pages or something, the detailed explanations are there. So this is the just conclusion. That's why it seems to be not a clear evidence, but it is just a completion of, look, resurrection has many layers of evidence. Not only one, that the universe and some names or the names of the Creator manifested that, not only this one. There are other elements as well. For example, revelation. Why do you think there is revelation? The speech of God. Why there should be, in order to guide people so that and teach people, some of them will learn, some of them will not. And as a result, some of them will get the degree, some of them will fail. For what? If the death is, they say, in this secular culture, they say, death is the equalizer, the best equalizer. No. Death is the sign of the necessity of punishment and reward. It means another form of existence, not the equalizer. And only the materialist people think that existence consists of this universe. So if you say that only the universe exists, but nothing else, no angels, no revelation, no creator, there are other kinds of existence we understand from the universe. And if you say that, yes, if you say that the only one type of existence that that is real, that is universe, then death is the equalizer, the best equalizer. You understand this term?
Mhm.
But here what we learn, or what the Quran says, death is not the equalizer. Death is the sign there will be another resurrection, another creation. And then in this, it's a transit, it's a passage. It's a passage, barzakh, which is called. Yeah, it's a passage from one type of existence into another. So, you know this caterpillars?
Yeah.
No. So I found a caterpillar and put it in the house, and I said, okay, close the window. Now I open the window and the door. Don't leave the door open. And we put the caterpillar on plenty of leaves.
Mhm.
And then I said, there is something magical will happen to the
Yeah.
kids, you know. So they said, what will happen? Look at it. Wait. So it became a big caterpillar like this.
Well,
And the children were looking at it and said, it's growing. Wait. And then we found a butterfly.
a cocoon and then
So
yeah.
they said, what happened? Look at the caterpillar. Where is it? Only the shell was there.
Yes.
And the kids screamed, saying that this is the sign of resurrection.
Smart kids.
You will completely change. A caterpillar will become butterfly. Can you imagine the human beings will become what?
Totally different. Upgrade.
Totally unimaginably different. It is just, God is demonstrating it. But in fact, not only butterflies, all seeds, all eggs are like, look at it. What is this? You break it. What is this? You eat for crumbled egg and it's nothing. Do you see any chicken in it? Chicken in there?
No.
No. When you
Cook
break it, no, there is no chicken. But leave it there. Wait.
Chicken
Chicken
comes.
How it is transferred? Resurrection. Yeah, human cell. One cell. And here we are. With the strength. Came up with the cell. No, resurrection. Signs of resurrections everywhere in the world. There is no excuse not to believe it. The Creator is demonstrating it clearly. MashaAllah.
MashaAllah.
Alhamdulillah ala ni'matil iman.
Ameen.
So we can feel comfortable. Yeah, now my life makes sense. Yeah, it is worth living now. I don't have to commit suicide. Wait, God will reward the resurrection and I will become a butterfly or a cell become a human being.
Yeah.
Look, this is our life is a cell.
No.
Can you imagine what will come out of this? Belief is eternal. This is infinite. Belief layers is infinite. The more you realize, the more you become appreciative. The more you appreciate, the more you deserve more. That's why whatever is created is appreciated. Alhamdulillah. We have to say Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
And acknowledge it. So it is exciting
Very exciting.
to see this new creation. But I will say us, the new butterfly. Butterfly.
Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So let's finish
this-
it. Time is really.
And since after divine unity, the thing Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, most constantly claimed.
Yeah, divine unity. This, it means divine unity. We should understand absolute.
Absolutely. Yeah.
The absoluteness of the creator. Otherwise, divine unity, I cannot make, understand it. Absolute means unimaginable, incomprehensible in its essence. Yep.
So after divine unity,
What the prophet said, divine unity,
Tawheed, yeah.
Nothing else.
Ahad, yeah.
Yeah.
So he, peace and blessing upon him, most constantly claimed and asserted throughout his life was the hereafter.
Yeah, he said divine unity is correct, but he also added to it, there's resurrection. He is telling the truth, and it includes resurrection in it. So we have to take notes of it. So actually 6 pillars of belief. The universe's creator, God, and angelic side of the universe, angels, and the prophets, the messages that the prophet deliver,
Right.
and the prophets themselves, all evidence for the necessity of resurrection. That's what the author is really wrapping up all 6 pillars, pointing to the necessity of resurrection, all of it. But we have to study these last short paragraphs in great detail. It means we have to read all the previous volumes. So we have to, it is a summary, wrapping up the subject. Yeah.
So certainly all his miracles and proofs, which point to his messengership and veracity, in one way, testify indirectly to the existence of the hereafter.
Yeah, indirect.
And that it will come.
Yeah, hereafter, and the hereafter will definitely take place.
And since 1/4 of the Quran is about resurrection and the hereafter.
Yeah, all the descriptions of the last day. Yeah, talking about we are going to really punish them. We are going to reward the believers. All the news. 1/4 of the Quran
is about resurrection and the hereafter.
Yeah. If the main message of the Quran makes sense to you, but it also says resurrection. Oh. If you say, for example, we read the verse today, and it is obvious that only the Creator can say this.
Yeah.
We establish a faith in the Quran. This is really interesting. It cannot be man production. So it's a resurrection. Oh, it is another indirect proof of resurrection. Direct proof of resurrection is the universe, what we see in the ages. Yeah.
And the Quran tries to prove resurrection with thousands of its verses and gives news of it. All the proofs and evidences of the Quran's veracity prove indirectly.
Yeah, indirectly.
The existence of the hereafter and its being thrown open. So directly, because we interact with the universe and we observe in the universe, that's direct. And the
interacting. What is the indirect?
Sorry?
What is the indirect? Indirect.
Indirect.
Directly, indirect. I mean, by the way, because you see that, for example, let's say your father says, I am a physicist, and he says one formula and proves it, the other one proves it, another equation proves it, demonstrates it, and there is one also. But the proof of it is in the creation there. But it gives the news, only the news, and says, lastly, this equation is also correct, but it is not there proven. So because of the previous truths, it gives us confidence that all this proved, and this claim also must be proved, but this is indirect. Yeah.
Now see how firm and certain is this pillar of belief.
Yeah, it is perfect. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.
MashaAllah.
All right, so we can stop here, inshallah.
Inshallah, inshallah.
Thank you, everyone. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma alamtana innaka anta alimul hakim wa akhiru da'wahum. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. In His name, Surah Al-Fatiha.